No, I've seen a few people going on about the admin win or admin loss or whatever. It's a tricky one all round, guys, because you can't really blame Chris. I mean, it would have been lovely for all of us. I agree. If Chris had just said, "Okay, never mind, fair play. You know what sieve I'm going to pick now, which is fine. You made the mistake, but you now know my sieve, and we'll restart again." So it's hard for Chris as well. To be fair to him, in the time when Bhakti did it to him, Chris accepted Bhakti losing his restart for him picking the wrong sieve. So in this instance, Chris knew Winchester had already used his restart, and Winchester had already offered the admin loss, and they came back and they'd given up before any of us even knew. So tricky one all round, guys. None of us wanted to see admin wins or admin losses, but they sort of decided, and I can't exactly punish Chris by saying to Chris, "No, we're taking that back now. Yeah, Winchester broke the rules. We'll take it back," and now he knows what sieve you're using. So it's tricky all round.
Yeah, the players kind of coming to a solution themselves there more or less meant that we went with that. But heading into this game now, because Winchester's still alive and it's still in his hands to pull it back. Needs to win both of the next two games though in order to go through, whereas Chris now in the position where he needs to win just one more game and he will be heading through to the semi-finals of the tournament. For game 6, as I was saying, we do have a Persians war, which is pretty interesting because you've got the potential to see lots of variety, more inclination to go towards knight-oriented plays, but that can also be countered by camels for Persians. So it's going to be pretty interesting, I think, if we see some more of these games during the knockout stages. But let's have a look at the maps for both players. Winchester in purple towards the southern part of the map. I'd say that it's looking pretty sparse for him in terms of wood lines. He's got two small stands of trees where his main wood line would be, has been kind of completely or half destroyed by two oases there, so he's going to need to push out into different parts of the map to secure more wood before long, and all of these wood lines are hugely vulnerable to harassment or towering, as well as being at the bottom of hills. Winchester also has pretty bad mate aim and second golds, both in the same spot, which makes them kind of easier to concentrate on defending to some extent, as well as the fact that his wood and berries will be nearby, so this area is absolutely crucial. But all of that is at the bottom of a hill, so Chris can really put the pressure on from that area if he wants to. And then on the left hand side, both stone mines are over there, but looking really, really open. Not much possibility of doing easy wall-offs for Winchester here. He'll have to invest a lot of resources and villager time in closing this map off if he's actually going to try and
Yeah,
do that.
I don't like Winchester's map at all. Not a very nice map, is it?
No, it's really difficult to play, but unfortunately out of restarts at this point. For Chris, things looking quite a bit better. His wood lines are much more substantial, and he can kind of almost retreat towards the top corner to take a little bit of wood that's up there if he's really forced to. Main gold is absolutely like glorious. It's towards the back, it's close to the TC, and he can even shield it from in front with a little bit of walling off around where that hill is between the forest and the houses if he really wants to. Second gold is kind of forward along with his two stone piles, but he could potentially put a TC on that raised area somewhere to secure either the golden stone later on. Third gold in a nice spot on the right as well, where he can kind of wall in front of it and even put a TC in this flatter area as well. So just a much better map for Chris on the whole here. And he's even got one of the neutral map golds really close to where he's likely to put a TC on the right side as well. So
Still very open though, even though Chris has got decent back gold. It's a nicer map than Vinch, but if Winchester's aggressive, I think Chris is very, very open. It's going to take an awful lot of walling and palisading to make Chris's map safe.
yeah, I don't think he needs to close it off completely though. I think if he can just wall a bit on the right hand side, maybe between the cliff and the forest, and then maybe between the oak forest and the palm forest, and then just keep his army on that hill near his stones, and then shield things off a little bit on the left hand side. I think that's pretty decent. He obviously, it depends on him actually having decent army presence on the map to kind of force Winchester away, but he's also got a little bit of a hill to play with as well to defend that area. I think it's pretty decent, even though it is quite open, as you say.
I think if Vinch sort of uses his he's calm or whatever in this. He can quite easily palisade up the top right-hand side of his map and keep all of that area safe-ish and direct all of the action from Chris through where he's built the 2 houses on the left of his TC. And then I hope he's a bit aggressive. I hope he doesn't try and sit and think he can out-macro Chris and...
No, well, he's gunning up early. He was kind of signalling his intention with that because he didn't put a barracks down to do a drush, whereas Chris did actually put that barracks down. Let's see if he's...
there's 3 militia on their way down.
Yeah.
The Winchester's base now. You see Chris's scouts sat there just waiting. They're obviously going to tie up and...
Yeah. And Chris is actually going to go for the full wall off. His walling on the right-hand side is a bit crazy because he hasn't really scouted that cliff. And he's not even using the gold as part of the wall, but still he's going to be walled off because Winchester's not going to be able to deny that, given that he went fast feudal with no drush. Winchester getting the barracks whilst on the way to feudal age. Chris's militia are going to be coming in. I'm probably looking to hit the berries or that north wood line. Let's see it from Winchester's point of view.
Well, Vinch is going to be really late. He took 10 gold. He's making the militia now. He's obviously going to go men-at-arms with them. Depends how much damage Chris can do with his drush going in on Winchester's wood line.
Yeah, I mean, men-at-arms are going to be okay to push the militia away, assuming that he hasn't already kind of dealt with them by villager fighting by then, but and that he actually gets in the upgrades before committing to the fight. He may just do it. He may just do three militia to defend and then transition into something else. Quite possibly. He's actually going to micro against that pretty well.
I'm surprised he took that. He had downhill fight on the majority of that. And he came away with keeping 2 militia alive, and Chris lost a lot.
Yeah, he's actually going to be going for the drush potentially into Archer's place, so a bit more of a drush flush from him, and not opting for the man-at-arms upgrade, which I think would have been a waste because he had his scout in Chris's base and he could see some of the... Actually, he couldn't see a great deal of the walling off that was coming up. He could see it across the front, but wasn't really aware that it was going on elsewhere. I was going to say the men-at-arms would have been probably a waste unless he at least backed it up with some archers or towers coming forward as well to deny Chris the possibility to just continually re-wall. But Chris actually did double palisades.
Look at the double palisades from Chris.
Wow.
I'm just looking at why he was so bad with his micro and everything on his gold, and then I looked at how many villages and how much walling he was doing. He's desperate to stay safe and just get to Castle Age.
Absolutely, but I think he's going to have that possibility really, because although resources aren't looking great, probably just because he's been spending so many resources and so much villager time doing this double palisade wall.
Finch coming forward with villagers as well.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see from him.
But his one tower isn't... I mean, that's more of a tower to help him try and break in, I think. It's not really going to do a lot of damage.
Well, I think it does take away the best wood line that Chris has, but like you say, it will also help him to break in. Like, this is the kind of play that I would have wanted to see from Winchester if he was doing the man-at-arms upgrade as well, but as it happens, like, he only had 1.5 militia left, so it wasn't really worth doing the man-at-arms. Seems like the tower couldn't quite reach the villagers, because the village... actually, it is now. I was going to say, it didn't start to fire, because the villagers from Winchester hopped into the tower.
Chris going to click up any sec. He's going to be going knights. Vinch is not going to be inside his base.
Yeah, I think this is really ominous now. Cause,
very, very ominous.
Because Persian's going to get to the Castle Age really fast with the TC work rate bonus as well, so that's he's going to be streaming knights even a tiny bit quicker than normally. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris add in a second stable to take advantage of the ability to start pouring knights if his economy can support it when he gets there.
He hasn't got a great deal of farms down. I don't think he can really get two stables going.
Yeah, he'd need to lay more farms down on the way there, absolutely right.
But Vinch is not going to have anywhere near enough archers.
Yeah, and being archers anyway is a really bad situation to be in against Persian knights with the bonus that they get as well.
He's sending some spears forward to go with the archers. I think all it's gonna do at the moment is stop Chris expanding, which I don't think Chris is even interested in expanding yet. Finch putting another tower down on the front houses on Chris's base. Not gonna hit anything. It's maybe push a farmer away.
The good thing going for Vinchester here though is he did force a tower out of Chris on the gold, and because both of Chris's stones are outside of his walls, he can't make a TC now unless he builds a market. Which means at least he won't be kind of falling a long way behind whilst Chris is in the Castle Age. But obviously the TC work rate bonus is increasing as well for Chris whilst being in the age above. And the other thing is, like, Chris can't do another tower to protect his wood line on the right hand side, etc. So
Winchester's an awful long way from clicking up. I don't know if you've checked on his resources.
yeah, I'm sitting on his point of view. He's floating a ton of gold. And continuing to collect stone with 3 villages as well, and not adding in tons of farms, whilst also
going to risk. Sometimes I wish that he'd risk and run straight round that palisade with the amount he had.
I don't know. The thing is that Chris is up to the Castle Age. He knows that. He's also seen the stable, so he knows there's going to be knights there. And if he lost like imagine if he lost both spearmen, then Chris could just run in and kill all the archers instantly.
Yeah, he could.
I think it's too risky to do that. I like what he's doing much better now.
Yeah,
He's keeping the spearmen on the hill.
Excellent payoff then. Those 3 knights from Chris. Yeah, he lost 2 spears. He didn't lose a massive amount of other stuff though.
Yeah, I think that the spearmen were even gaining a tiny hill bonus as well, because there's like 2 steps of hill there.
I just hope all of this gives Winchester enough time to get the Castle Age, but
I thought he was going to go for the TC dive then, because he's forced a lot of the villagers away from the TC. But
I wouldn't risk it now. He's going to spears with him.
I thought he was going for it though, and my heart was in my mouth thinking, like, don't do it.
I hoped he went for it when he had the spears plus the scout and the militia, and then try and use the scout and militia to take some of the TC fire and get around that corner with spears and those archers on Chris's other wood. That would have been a big hit to Chris.
Yeah, I love this though that Winchester's now getting up that second tower. Like, Chris's ability to take wood on this map is getting extremely limited. He'll have the very far right hand side of that forest plus the back, which he could find, but easily that Winchester could do another tower in that area, like in the top corner.
He's getting closer as well to being able to click up.
Yeah, he's actually floating 600 gold as well. No market for him to kind of equalise that, but even so, if he stops spamming spears and is for a little while, which could be dangerous because of all the knights on the field starting to be on the field, but he will then be able to click up because farm count's expanding a little bit more.
Chris sending a couple of knights forward to try and harass Finch, but Finch is obviously going to be ready for that. He's got spears all around his wood lines.
Well, potentially, it depends where the knights go, because the right-hand side of Winchester's base near the gold and that other wood line is, definitely a couple of villages could go down before the spears arrive en masse to deal with that. Winchester's now battered through the buildings, which enables him to move into the back of Chris's base.
And he's dropping another tower down.
Accidentally knocked my mouse wheel and knocked the camera away from the location. Then 1 monk for Chris, converting his spearmen to help turn the tide. Those archers would be taking massive damage from the knights, but the spears in there doing good work.
Yeah, and
the
they still survived. And he's got a tower to back him up and help, and he had the advantage in a nice spot. That's worked really well for Vinch.
Yeah, and crucially as well, he's idling a ton of farmland, which makes it so difficult for Chris to just keep producing knights and villagers at the same time. Now,
and Vinch
on the way to the Castle Age.
The castle, if he keeps all that archer army alive with those villagers and some spears inside Chris's base, it's just looking really good for Vinch, and I didn't think it was going to. I hoped it would, because I really want to see Vinch still do well.
Yeah, I think that the fact that he was on stone and able to keep adding those towers was really key, because it meant he could deny Chris more resources, but it also enabled him to force an entry and start idling more and more of Chris's eco, making a bigger and bigger mess. And he's actually, when he gets to the Castle Age, probably going to be a village or 2 ahead as well. I
think more importantly than pushing Chris just off that wood as well is the amount of farming he stopped Chris doing. Yeah. And Chris gone stable for knights. That's really good for Vinch.
And now those knights going to get caught out by more spears potentially, but Chris peels them away just in time. Yeah, Winchester has ridden this out really, really well now. He's putting Chris into such a messy, tough spot, and he's going to arrive in the Castle Age with a pretty efficient economy by comparison. Woodline's looking a little bit messy, but otherwise pretty good.
But is he going to stay? I haven't seen a stable or anything dropped. He got so much food. I hope he drops a stable forward on Chris.
He's actually got 1,000 gold in the bank as well. Like, he can do anything now. He's going to go with a siege workshop, which is definitely a good choice. But it'll be interesting to see what else he does. Just gonna quickly scan his base, just looking for stuff.
Yeah, he's doing He's done the crossbowman upgrade, and he's getting pikeman, obviously. Bodkin.
Those knights from Chris getting really caught out by the spears.
Bye knights on them. Oh, they haven't even got a kill. They haven't even got a hit off. The one knight just stood there. All of them lost. Winchester now moving up to trying to get up towards the top wood for Chris. But Vinch has seen now. He knows exactly where everything is for Chris. So that mangonel, those pike are going to be going towards the top end of Chris's map.
Not only that, but potentially one or two more towers now. It's going to be a lot harder for Winchester to do that because Chris has got the range of the monks to defend. But if he could sneak a tower anywhere near that wood line at the top, mangonel's coming in.
Oh, good shot. Good shot, Winchester.
And now he can pick off the monks as well.
And picked off the monk. No, he's going to pick off the other monk and any more. Oh, he converted the pikes, so now Winchester, be careful.
Yeah, those knights are going to be able to do
crossbowmen are alienated now on their own, and another mangonel coming out as well.
Winchester needs the shot on that mangonel, but he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But he gets
it. That still helped him.
Yeah, he needed that. I mean, if the knights and mangonel had been there, that would have been so much trouble. But now his forward's still alive, and he's taken out all the army of Chris. Chris on naught military.
The only problem is he's lost a lot of his crossbowmen. He's only got 5 crossbowmen left there now, so...
Yeah, but he can send more. He's already sending more, and Chris is so far behind now on military. He's got 1 stable and 1 siege workshop and 1 monastery. That's it. And now those crossbows with the monks gone can go and harass that wood line. Gonna probably pick up a kill or 2 there. The mangonel's coming, but look at the state of Chris's wood line. It's just ridiculous. I think I'm just looking to see if he's got a market anywhere, because it's almost like he's trying to mine gold and buy everything else. It's insane.
I'm Vince putting another tower on the top of Chris's wood line.
That's the kind of sneaky tower I wanted to see. I mean, if he could even be ridiculous and go and put it in that, like, you know, the darker area of desert right in the corner at the top. He could walk around the lake and do it there.
Needs to watch his villagers now with the 2 mangonels coming in.
But 1 shot by the mangonel on the villagers, but they survive on about 10 HP each. Those pikemen need to focus on the knights.
Yeah, that worked well for Chris. That was a decent... Winchester trying to fast palisade in. Yeah, he's got a villain, but this mangonel coming.
Yeah. Winchester just needs to make sure he doesn't get caught out like that, where his pikemen are doing the wrong thing and not targeting the knights. The micro and the focus attack is really key in all of this.
I still think, though, he dropped in 1 stable instead of what he did. When he got to Castle Age with like 800 food and like 700 gold, he could have just dropped 1 stable. Chris would have had nothing.
Winchester's doing so much better with the mangonels here, but look at the state of Chris's economy, and that's why we see GG.
Well played, Winchester. Nice aggression.
Yeah.
And the towers pushing Chris off all that farming as well as that wood were crucial. Well played. Brilliant
from Winchester. Much worse map, and looked to be in a real bad spot when we thought Chris was going to just level him with knights with the much faster Castle Age time. But as you say, towers absolutely crucial, and denying resources, the wood on the right, the farmland, so that Chris couldn't just keep spamming knights, and also taking away resources. So once Chris did that 1 tower, he couldn't put a tower anywhere else and couldn't defend anything with a TC either. I think market possibly could have been an option for Chris if he wasn't so pushed for wood. Like if he'd saved his wood, like had a wood line to retreat to somewhere, then maybe he could have rebalanced his economy a little bit, considering he was mining gold like crazy. But like Winchester was just denying everything from him. Incredible forward play from him, and that takes us to a deciding game in this best of 7. So this match is living up to the hype. Just quickly show some achievements. Somehow Chris collected more wood.
Oh, who won the first tons war? I obviously missed.
That was Winchester, I think.
Winchester, okay, so you must be feeling
Feeling confident.
quite good. I'm really pleased with Vinch after the mess up he had with picking the wrong save. I'm really pleased that he's managed to come back, take that win, and take it to the 7th game. He must be feeling a hell of a lot better now.
Yeah, and we're already counting down to the next game. It's only about 2 minutes of real time. I'm just going to be back in 1 minute.